Looks like he's still trying to pop in, though.
He's still trying to pop in. Karina is there. Tika.
Okay.
Oh, there's Wade.
Hey, Karina.
I'm narrowing this down.
Oh, I hear you. Well, we see you. It's a little dark, but I see you.
You'll see something in a second.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hold on. It's kind of.
Wait, did
Look at this. Isn't it a little?
You just lost some weight there.
Isn't it a little?
Weight loss. Is there a pill for that?
What's with the angle? This is unbelievable.
Wait, so we'll know that you're being recorded. Karina wasn't feeling too well today, but she actually put out another book, and it's called Blood Shirt. It's a whole role play. I think she has a total of 1,600 pages, so they're breaking it up into several books, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
That is cool.
Good for you, Karina.
Now she's got fantasy novels out, she's got coloring books out, and now she has this role play.
That's very cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
That's right. So I think she's working on book 2 or 3 of that same series, which is
awesome.
Kind of nice. Anyways,
That's
back
great.
to Nathan and your speaking. What is your outcome for your speaking? Do you want people to be your client? Do you have a book you want to sell? Are you consulting so you can direct people in a direction? Because Wendy had mentioned speaking in front of your target market, but it depends what you want to do and how you want to put those things together. And I always heard, oh, why don't you get on the speaking circuit? And I have my friend Jim Britt, who actually trained Tony Robbins, says, I still want to know where that circuit is. So the circuit doesn't exist. It's what you create.
Yeah, coming into the clients' workshops.
Yeah. Any comments, Wendy, on Nathan's question? He has a combination of clients and workshops.
Yeah, if you already have workshops, one of the main things I've found is to just target a market and decide who it is that you want to work with, and connect your message with whatever group it is that would respond to it. And what's your subject matter, Nathan?
Hopefully he will tell us.
If you don't mind sharing that. Okay, what do you blog about?
Can you type in your blog web address?
I show people how to free themselves from
thought patterns
that cause suffering.
I think that's all of us, that we try to dwell on the negative. Thank you. So we can get some more information there. Just open you in a new tab here. Actually, I've seen your website or your blog before. I don't know why. So you're doing a lot of interviews. So do you... Okay. I don't know why I've seen his site, but I have. Well, one of the biggest things, I mean, you're starting with a blog, and the whole idea is, you have to start with a platform, and we keep hearing that silly word. You got to build your platform. But what the heck is a platform? And it's so many different things. And when it comes to publishing a book, and this is what Tika Fire was told, that's Karina, is that she had to build a platform first. So we sort of dug into it, and it's building an audience using a specific area. It could be social media. It could be offline in some way. It could be a number of things. What kind of platform would you think would be best for you is the whole idea behind it? Wendy?
One of the ways I think of it is, what's something that you want to focus on? Because platform seems like a lot of building and a lot of preliminary stuff. What do you want to focus on, and who do you want to help, and how do you help them? And you can focus on all kinds of things, but if you pick one, and decide, oh, okay, for now at least I'm going to focus on this, helping these people do this, then you can look at all the different ways that you can spin that out. And so the blog is one, your social media, Facebook and whatever, your comments that you put on social media, all kind of feed that. So you look at, then you can look at wider if you're looking to get engagements. Go, okay, well, what kind of association or group or crowd or whatever wants to hear this kind of message? And when you start thinking of it that way, sometimes it makes it a lot easier to actually give you a starting place and get your foot in the door at different places, and and word gets around. I mean, I've taught writing workshops, and one of the first things that I did was approach writers groups in the vicinity where I am and just say, I'm available to come and speak to your group. And because most of them are looking for somebody all the time who has some kind of expertise or will just provide some kind of program, I got in that way, and I didn't get paid, and that was okay. But what it did for me was provide spin-off business that kept me going for about 2 years from just a couple of events like that. So if you're looking to just be a speaker, then your goal is going to be a little bit different than if you have other programs and products and coaching and that kind of thing that you want to add to it. But that's one way to just kind of get started, and the main thing is get started.
Yeah, exactly. Wade, you do a lot of things with golf. It was building a platform for yourself as well. So
Yeah, that's just pretty consistent. First, obviously, knowing your market is pretty important. Even though I like to assume everyone golfs, not as many people golf as much as I do. But I mean, I use social media a lot and continue to just build relationships. And actually, it took me a little while to find out for me, in the process of creating the platform, was really being clear on who actually am I talking to. Sure, people golf from 14 to 70, but who is my product related to? And I must admit, I burnt a lot of time on the front end not understanding that. Like, kind of like Gary, like understanding your avatar. Like, what are they dressed like? Where do they hang out? What are they into? I never thought like that in the past. And that changed the way I wrote my copy, changed the way and in terms of the platform, just the way I communicated to people sort of predetermined where I'd go about sharing that information. In other words, I'd identify who's my key avatar in this medium. So if I'm on Twitter, it's actually a little different. And Facebook, it's a different conversation. And so, yeah, I'm flexibility sure is to be key. But number one, for me, it sure helped when I really identified who it was I was trying to talk to.
what about you, Gary?
Well, I've helped a couple of colleagues of mine build and grow their seminar.
You're getting.
Can you not hear me good?
Yeah.
I'm trying the mobile. Maybe I'll go back to the desktop because I'm trying the mobile to see how that works for.
Yeah, you seem to fade in and out.
Okay, let me switch over to the back to the laptop. 1 second.
Okay.
I will find a way someday to make this whole experience smooth, where the video will show normal, the volume will be normal. It's gonna be nirvana for me. It's that moment.
We're so close too.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
All right, how's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Okay, now I'll let you answer the question.
Okay. Let me turn my
I'll be right back.
up so I can hear myself. So I've helped a couple of my colleagues go from just starting off to creating very successful seminar speaking businesses, and things are rapidly changing now. So I mean, the strategies and techniques that we use even 2 years ago, 1 year ago, even 6 months ago, because social media, because we got Blab, because we've got Periscope and all the different mediums where someone can get in front of people. the landscape is changing rapidly. So I think that just to get out and speak, so doing Blabs, doing Periscope, doing there's another one, I can't remember what it's called, that's also competing against Periscope right now. And doing that and just getting out there and start to build a following is really important, because people will, just like you guys that are on the call right now, you'll gravitate to the type of message that's relevant to what you need. So starting from there and then building a list from, Murky, that's the one. Thanks, Miss Boss. And Meerkat, sorry. And, so starting to get out there and just doing any speaking, even though, this platform here is not necessarily in front of live people face to face, but they are people who are logging in. And so it is a form of seminar speaking, right? And then building a following and then lead them on to, which I see on your site, Nathan, that you do have some kind of lead capture component there, which is nice, to build a database of people that you can continue to communicate with when you're ready to launch a live event, if that's the means that you want to go. There's a few things that do still work. They're old school and they still do work. One is to look at other people in your industry that are doing seminars and are filling a room, and seeing if you can, joint venture with them to do a component or segment of it. Go in and just do like an introductory component of whatever it is that you're teaching, and share your knowledge with their crowd. And then in front of that crowd, then offer them something free to get on your list, and then continue to market to them from there. That still works, and it worked 10 years ago. It still works today. Because people are still showing up at live events. There was a dip for a couple of years there, but they're still showing up to live events.
It's true.
And so if someone's already out there on the speaking platform and circuit, as Beth says, that doesn't exist, if they're out there on that and they're speaking to your audience, just see what you can do to kind of partner up with them and add an added component. Another thing to do is to go for someone who's kind of a little outside of your market, but that your message will benefit those people, right? And so it brings an added component to what they do. So just some brainstorming like that would look at who and what and when, and then put together a speaker's package. In your speaker's package, you should have just a bio, obviously. You should have information on what it is you talk about. You should have even a written out introduction that you can give the speaker, the people who are introducing you on stage. Those are all key little things that a lot of speakers don't think about, but can make a huge difference with you getting on stage and setting the presence.
Yeah, another thought that just occurred to me is that next time you do speak, hire a videographer to videotape your talk, or a segment of it, so that you can use it as a promotional tool, because a lot of groups kind of want to know what they're getting, and if they can just watch your video for a few minutes, that's a great way to promote yourself.
Yeah,
as well as it can become a product. If the training is good, something you might want to use to sell later, back end or initial sale for something to stimulate people to get on your list.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because once people like what you're doing and they're following you and they're part of your platform, then the next time you come up with something new, you've got a built-in audience of people that are likely to go there, and it's higher than a 1 or 2%. Usually if they're following you, I went up and I don't know what the statistics are about people on your list that have been really intensely following you. What is the percentage of them coming back and consuming the next piece?
I think that's a huge factor. And it made me think of the relationship you're building with them, to like even through this, like whether it's Blab or whatever, that's what actually stimulates people to come back. So if you had the good content and your relationship is established in the email, that's a huge factor. And really, just I've noticed some people doing it really well lately, asking questions to their market. Like even that, it seems so basic, but how do you know what they're really like unless you just ask them? So sure, you're building your platform and they're on your list and you're building relationships. Nothing better than asking directly, what do they like about what you do? Did they like the presentation? Like get direct feedback. And then if you choose to, you can package how you present in the future based on some of the feedback. I think there's no faster way to move with the market than listening to them. Because when you're trying to create it first without that conversation, or if it's one-way feedback, meaning you're creating and just going out and hoping people like it and buy it, that's a lot different than someone who's going out with lots of questions, listening, engaging, and the platform is a two-way street. It becomes interactive, where the feedback you're getting is something you're using as a resource to design how you're going to communicate further. Whether you're an author, presenter, it really doesn't matter. And I noticed that some people are doing that really well, and it sticks with me, the importance of that, the two-way conversation with your market.
Another thought I have too about videos, Nathan, you said you have videos, but not necessarily of you speaking. If you haven't yet had opportunity to speak, you can always just set it up. Find a room, set up your camera, go through your program. Basically fake it, or get your family to sit in some chairs and. If you need to have people around or whatever, but just even if you have a 2 or 3 or 5 minute video of you presenting what you present, and I would suggest whatever it is that you're most passionate about or what represents what you do the best, then you have some pieces that you can do there. You can use those on all kinds of social media, on your website, on YouTube, you name it.
Yeah, that becomes part of your speaker promo kit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do it anywhere. You can have a couple of friends sit in the audience and just give a regular speech, and even if it's a 2-3 minute one, just cutting pieces out, or make a longer one and make several little components so that you have a video that goes in and out, taking it from there. And then there's so many things you can do with it. It doesn't have to be just video. You can add a transcript to it. You can take the MP3, make it a podcast. And it's all ties in because it's the same component, but it's in all these different areas where you're multi-use of those particular things.
Mm-hmm.
So as just as a takeaway, I think that, just to give you something to start with tangible, because I found that really having that speaker promo kit really opened up a lot of doors. And one of the things that I'll give you something tangible you can take away with. If you create like a 1-sheet synopsis of everything you do, I used to call it the 12-second fact sheet. And what you do on that is, you get a graphic designer to kind of put it together, almost like an infographic of you, right? And what you do. So you obviously state your name. You have an image of yourself, representing who you are, and then the content on there should be who you are. So you kind of give 3 or 4 sentences of who you are. And then what you do. So tell them what you're passionate about and what your speech is about. Again, 3 or 4 sentences for each of these categories. When you're available, like as far as, do you do talks only on weekends? Do you do any time? Just let them know that, where you talk. So if you're specific to a specific region or you're all across, let them know on this 12-second fact sheet, and then the why. So, why it is you're delivering what you do, and then how you do it. So, for example, you could say, you deliver your speech through real life stories, heartwarming examples, and, sharing your once in a lifetime adventure. And, audience find that they can uncover treasures, within the message that help them to overcome fears, or I can't remember. I think that's what your primary thing was. And then you also name, your package of your program within that. So it kind of seeds the idea that you're not just talking, you also have something you deliver after the talk as well. So if you create like that 12-second fact sheet or infographic, it's a great tool not only to post on social media, but to print off and hand out to those people that you want to connect with, and start to get in there and and give your talks and get known and more experience that way.
Yeah, because sometimes when they have an audience, you'll find that quite often people in the audience really like it, and then they know of other places for you. And so they may want those tear-off sheets. Can you hand me a couple of sheets and a couple of people? Because people are really willing to give. When you're in an audience, you may ask them for, referrals. And that's one thing a lot of speakers forget to do, is ask for the referral for the next gig. You can sort of ask a little bit about, if you like what you hear, please, send me suggestions. Or if you know of anyone else, you can even do it on your smiley sheet at the end about when you're taking check marks. And just ask if they would have a couple of references. And, if they give you a couple of references, maybe you have something that they can go back to your site and download for free. So there's a number of things that you can do with it past that.
Yeah, I just wanted to share this. This is going to show up backwards because it's my camera on my computer, but this is one that I did for myself.
Actually, it looks fine.
Yeah, it looks good.
Oh, does it? It looks backwards to me, but anyway. This was just a template with pages on Mac, and I just filled it in, and it kind of captured the look that I wanted. And then I took it sent the file to Staples and had it printed on glossy paper, so it makes it a little bit more upmarket looking. But that's something that you can easily do at home. I know Windows or Word for Windows also has templates that you can just fill in with your information. So it's a low-cost thing to do, but it's really professional looking, and you can kind of capture the tone of what you're looking for, what you want to portray, and things like that.
Yeah, it's amazing how much can be contained in one page, and how something that may be kind of trivial to you is what actually someone else notices. People actually nowadays obviously want to get things quick, not that they're going to have it fast, but the fact that they see it quick, can scan and go, oh, really, they do that too? I see, that's the feel, that's what they're about. Oh, I see, rather than trying to tell a big long story. It kind of gives them the shot and kind of sprinkling it through the page to get a sense of something that draws it in. So that's a good example too, Wendy. It's good seeing that. It's good.
Yeah, there are a lot of different components. We've got about 2-3 minutes left, so we're going to post this recording, and Gary has to remind me the channel that we're putting it on, so we can just let everybody know. Maybe, Gary, you can put it in the message where to find our YouTube channel. Put him on the spot.
Where is that going to be?
I believe it's for YouTube /user/Author Success Guild.
Okay, so it's just /Authors Success.
Can that be just typed in the box in this field?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I think
I'm gonna confirm. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I will post this particular video in that location. And anything, last thing that you want to mention, Gary, Wade, Wendy?
Well, I mean, I'm a strong advocate of building a list and building with the right people. And so whatever you can do to build that list, either prior to, during, and after you start speaking, you should be looking at ways to do that. And if you can do joint venture type experiences to accelerate that process, I'm telling you right now, it's the fastest way to grow your business. And it does require some work and some strategy around building a relationship with those people you're going to joint venture with. But once you do, I'm telling you, it could last for years. I had one of my previous clients who that one strategy alone took him from a nobody to a multi-million-dollar seminar industry, and he did that for 10 years. I mean, so it's a great strategy to look at to speed up the process.
You must have been good at building relationships.
Yeah, joining up with people is really crucial. And if we haven't mentioned it before, the four of us together make up Author Success Guild. So Gary is in web design and marketing. Wade is a premier marketer and a social mobile. Wendy is a well-known romance author, and she does many other things. She's an artist as well. And myself, I have a few books floating up behind me, but I've published probably over 150 books at this point in time, which I think there's only about 15 left on Amazon, and constantly working on those. So we're always into the marketing. I also teach business at in the master's program at a university here. So between us, the pieces that are missing tend to come together. So on Mondays, we are going to put together the Author Cafe, and that will be a general discussion similar to the one we've had here. And just join us, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Mondays. And most of you should be able to join, and I will schedule that up really soon. I've tried to follow as many of you as possible. And thank you, Gary. You put up the link just to make sure that I put it in the right place as well. So in closing, I want to thank you for joining us. We've had 19 other people join us, so I think this is absolutely incredible. So hopefully we'll see most of you on Monday morning. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Okay.
Bye.